Namaste, and welcome to another practice with me. It'll help you if you'll remember while watching this video, it's like watching yourself in a mirror. So when I say your right leg, I mean your right leg. And don't second guess that. And then if you ever get a little confused, just ask what would it look like if I were looking at myself in the mirror, and I'll try and remind you from time to time as well. So let's take a seated posture anywhere that you like, on your mat, whatever your floor looks like today. Maybe you're seated on a pillow, and shut the eyes down. Closing the eyes takes away our sense of sight, gives us the ability to just hear the breath a little bit better. Tune in with the breath, start to make the mind-body connection. So many times throughout our day, we just go on autopilot. We don't listen to what our body is really telling us or asking us to do. We don't listen to what our body needs from us that day. We just go on autopilot and we plow right through. So pause for a moment. Listen to your body. Listen to your breath. And as you move throughout the rest of the practice, you'll notice that sometimes you'll lose that mind-body connection. You'll lose the sound of your breath in your ears. And just remind yourself to come back to it. Let's start the practice today with a big inhale and a stretch, both arms overhead. Exhale, eagle wrap. Doesn't matter which arm. Pick one, put one arm under the other, and try to bring the hands together as much as you can. If you need to grab a thumb, or if the hands are apart here, that's okay. Just make that connection as close as you can, and allow the body to sink forward. We're gonna round up into the upper back and let the chin fall in towards our chest as we come into a nice soft eagle seated pose here. Oh, you can feel this glorious stretch across the upper back and the shoulders. So if you've had a rough day, this will definitely help work the tension out of that area. Take a breath in, lift up, exhale, unwind. Now, can you remember which arm was on bottom? Switch it. It was only like 30 seconds ago. Have you already forgotten? Pull the elbows down into the chest and just let the heaviness of your body fall forward. Take the back of your heart and press it up towards the sky, finding that doming through the upper back, letting the shoulder blades melt apart from each other, allowing the arms to be heavy. And as the arms become heavy, you'll get that really glorious upper back stretch. One more inhale, rise up, exhale, unwind. And let's take a stretch, both arms reaching up with energy, pushing down through the sit bones. And exhale, fold yourself forward. Fold to your comfort level, so don't feel pressure to take your elbows to the floor or your head to the floor. If you happen to be someone who's a little tighter, I tend to be tight as well. And so you don't need to force your body, you don't need to be mean to your body in poses. Just go to where you're getting a good stretch without pain, kind of challenging yourself without really pushing yourself to where you're hurting yourself. Checking in here at the beginning of the practice with knees, hips, and back, just to make sure all of those areas are feeling good and workable today. And then we'll take an inhale and sit up. We're gonna pick up the knees as well and turn ourselves to tabletop pose. As soon as you set up your tabletop, let's go ahead and sink back, hips to heels, resting back into child's pose. Allow the forehead to come to the floor. Maybe walk your fingers away a little bit more. Maybe a little more purposeful press down through the palms of the hands into the floor to find some activeness, a deeper stretch through the arms, the armpits, the shoulders. Sinking into the breath as we go, heaviness back through the hips. Starting to think about downward facing dog. We're gonna move forward, take your own pace, take your own journey there. Tuck your toes behind you with your feet about hip distance apart and start to elevate your hips to the sky. Now, I never like downward facing dog the very first time. I have tight hamstrings. This is kind of a hard pose for me. So I always pedal and move. Sometimes it's my shoulders, or I need to just twist a little bit through my back. I'm here looking upside down at my little doggie through the door. She's staring at me, probably wondering what in the world I'm doing out here and hoping to get in, but I'm not letting her in. This is not puppy yoga, so that's not happening today. Let your head hang when you're in downward facing dog. And if your dog feels really tight, bend your knees, okay? So we don't have to have locked out legs in our downward facing dog. Pick up your gaze, look forward, and walk, step, or jump forward to the hands. And just allow yourself to collapse into your forward fold. So the head is heavy, sit bones are open. You'll notice I'm kind of active and moving in this posture as well. So this is a hard posture for me again because of the hamstrings, and this is a common thing for a lot of people to have tight hamstrings. So just let the head be heavy and bend your knees, but try and open your sit bones, keep a nice long back. Feel rooting down through your feet, and then rise as you stand all the way up, touch the sky. Exhale, bring hands to heart center. We're going to begin our sun salutation now, using those poses and the connection of those poses to warm the body and prepare the body for the rest of the practice. So sun salutation B. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, bring the body forward to forward fold. Inhale, sit the hips back to chair as you reach the arms overhead. Exhale, take the body back to forward fold. Inhale, lift the spine long, look forward, half standing fold. Exhale, step back, plank position. Breathing in, taking the core nice and tight, lowering knees to the floor. Exhaling, upper body to the floor, elbows brushing right past the ribs. Inhale, soft cobra, point your toes. Use your lower back muscles to lift the chest. Don't push with your arms. Exhale, tuck toes, downward facing dog. And you'll notice as we come back to downward dog over and over and over through the practice, it's kind of like hitting a reset button. Just find your breath again, recommit to the practice, remind yourself you're healthy, you're strong, you can do this. Bring the feet close together. Inhale, take your right leg high to three-legged dog. Exhale, bending that knee and bringing it through for warrior one pose. Back heel meets the mat as you stand up, rise up, reach up. Now, let's talk about following the class again, remembering this is like you're looking in a mirror. So your right leg is forward at the front, and you'll notice that the leg of my leg, which is closest to whatever device you're watching this on, is also matching your right leg, which is closest to whatever device you're watching this on, okay? So that's how we make this work. Big breath in your warrior one. And exhale, bring hands to the mat. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, knees and body to the floor in one long line. Inhale, point your toes, soft cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Bring your feet close together. This time your left leg goes high to three-legged dog. Bend the knee, bring it under and through, stepping that foot in between your hands. Bring your back heel to the mat. So make sure when you're in lunging postures, you're checking it. Am I in a warrior or am I in a crescent lunge? And in warrior postures, your back heel rotates and touches the floor. Use that back heel to help you open up your warrior one pose, facing the front of your mat. Soft gaze, easy breathing. One more inhale, and when you exhale, hands come down. Inhale, we're going to try full chaturanga now. So strong through the body, exhaling, elbows close to the body as we lower halfway. And then inhale onto the tops of our feet for up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, and pull back. I know, if you're new, you're like, what just happened? You'll get used to it. We'll do it over and over and over. Look at the hands, step, walk, or jump to the hands. Breathe in, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, sit back, reach up. Exhale, sink. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, bring hands to heart center. Let's try that all again. One big breath in, tuck your tailbone forward as you reach up. Exhale, forward fold, fingertips tap the mat. Inhale, sit back, chair pose. Exhale, back to your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, step back. Get strong through your core. Get strong through your triceps. Lower yourself halfway down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Notice my knees are floating off the mat and so are my hips. So this is not cobra, this is up dog. Yep. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feet are close together. We're gonna inhale the right leg up to three-legged dog. Bend the knees, step it through. If it doesn't happen in one big smooth transition, that's okay. You can reach back, pull that foot through, plant your heel. You can even take your time just kind of walking yourself up, okay? So if you're newer to yoga, if your body's not cooperating with you today, just make it work. Always making the practice your own. Always turning my flow into your own journey. Good, one more big breath in, and when you exhale, hands come down. Inhale for the chaturanga, taking the push-up. Yes, working that power into our practice. Up dog, broaden across the collarbone. Exhale, downward facing dog, bringing your feet together. This time the left leg goes high, three-legged dog. Exhale, lunge it through, warrior one, back heel to the mat. Let's check in, how are you doing with following? Left leg farthest away from me is forward. You got it? Warrior one. Good. See if you can power through a stronger, straighter back leg behind you. One more breath in. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Anytime you see me doing the push-up, you can skip it. So it's up to you. Whenever we do the push-up and the up dog, you can go straight to downward dog and just miss the push-up. Take a little less power out of your practice. It's a way to make your practice just a little bit easier if that's what you're looking for today. Look to the hands. Step walk or jump to your hands. Breathe in, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, sit. Inhale, rise. And exhale, float those hands to heart center. And celebrate your sun salutations. We're warm now. Yes, I'm warm. I hope you're warm. Pause for some breaths here. Maybe even close the eyes down. Feel the soles of your feet making that connection to the mat. Good work, everyone. Big breath in. Exhale and fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step back. Just walking. You could be in plank. If you ended up in plank, that's a fine place to be. Set your knees down on the mat and bring yourself to tabletop. So you need to make sure that you brought your knees under your hips and your hands under your shoulders. I'm gonna go ahead and purposefully leave my toes tucked as I reach my right arm forward and my left leg back. So nice little tiger tail here. And we're gonna actually tap, if we want just a little bit of extra work, elbow to knee. So inhale, stretch, and exhale, tap. How round you want to make your body as you bring those joints together under your body is up to you. So if you want a little more work, dome through the upper back and lift up and bring that knee really tight underneath you. Settle into your tiger tail hold. Let's reach back and see if we can find the foot and start to gaze forward, look up a little bit for revolved bow. So if you find you're not finding that foot behind you, just go ahead and go right back to your tiger tail and hang out there. Yeah, everybody who has the foot is coming back to where I am, straight limbs, and exhale everything to the mat. Good, just take a nice little stretch back. Quick little child's pose. And then we're off to the races. So tuck toes, come back up to downward facing dog. Your right leg inhales high to three-legged dog. We're gonna bend the knee and bring it under the body and through. Back heel to the mat for warrior one. Stand tall, face square onto the front of your mat. Exhale, hands come behind the back. We're either gonna reach back or if we can interlace the fingers, make that happen. Puff out your chest. Prepare for humble warrior. One deep inhale, and when you exhale, dropping, sinking, falling through. Now, if we can, we're gonna let the shoulder come to the inside of the knee, and we're gonna let the head soften. Okay, so just kind of giving the head a little shake side to side, trying to pull and squeeze the elbows in, draw the hands away from the hips, and let the hips sink into your humble warrior. Bow, head below the heart. Inhale, rise all the way up.
and pivot your back heel off the mat. So now you're in crescent lunge rather than warrior one. Thinking about how we're going to carry that left foot through to a standing staff, slowly pressing out through the heel out in front of us and trying to float the leg as high as we can. If it needs to go low, it can go lower, but if you can lift up, find that quad strength and let that happen. Slowly, everything falls away to mountain. Or take a breath in and a nice ragdoll. So hands behind your back and just bend your knees a lot, bend your back a lot, and just ragdoll, laying your belly onto your thighs, maybe rocking just ever so slightly into the toes. Head is heavy. Good work. Release your hands to the mat. Walk your way back to your tabletop. Set knees down, just check in. Knees under hips, shoulders over wrists, okay? Once we've got that, left arm forward, right leg back. Stay here, hang out, work the core that way, or tap limbs underneath you. So find a strong exhale. Inhale for length. Strong exhale. Inhale for length. And I'm not even counting how many we did on the other side versus this side, okay? So this is just, we're going for freestyle. This is what it is, okay? When you're ready, revolved bow. Sometimes you reach back here, that foot is nowhere to be found. So if that happens to be you today, forget about that foot. Who needs it, yeah? Go right back to your tiger tail. And if you want revolved bow, try looking up slightly. Don't crane the neck, just ever so slightly. Everyone returns to tiger tail. We're gonna give our lower back a little bit of love, okay? So sit back into your child's pose, just to balance out that lower back work. Nicely done. Inhale and come up, make your way to downward facing dog. Your left leg is headed to the sky, three-legged dog as you inhale. Exhale, lunge it through. Back heel meets the mat, rise up, warrior one. Prepping for humble warrior, taking our time, exhaling the hands behind the back. If you have a hard time clasping hands, okay, you have tight chest, tight shoulders, you can just reach back as you fold yourself over. If you have a hard time getting low, you can lay on top of the thigh. But in humble warrior, ideally, we're kind of working to the inside of the knee. We're really gonna let the body go. And we want the head to be lower on the hierarchy than our heart in this pose. So heart wins out, heart gets to be at a higher elevation. Breathe. It's kind of a tough one, and don't fight it with your gaze. Take a breath in, rise up, scoop up, reach up, crescent lunge. We need to spike that back heel up off the floor. Think about a little dip and a big strong lift, carrying the foot forward into standing staff pose. Reach your arms with some energy. Come on guys, power out of that left leg and reach up with some energy. Really kicking that right heel forward like you mean it. And then slowly exhaling. Always about control as we exit poses just as much as when we enter them. And we're gonna ragdoll. So that's your celebration, okay? That's your dessert. If you eat dinner, you get dessert in yoga. That's how it works. Breathe. We're in perfect position for our next series. So just release hands to the floor and heel toe your feet together for chair pose. We're gonna sit the hips back, start to reach up into chair. We're thinking about what's happening here in our lower back. So trying not to have a deep curve in the lower back. Scooping the hips forward as we find chair. Inhale, rise up a little bit and cross your left leg over your right leg for eagle wrap. It's okay to let your left toes touch the floor or to let your left toes hover in the air, or they can wrap around the back of your calf. Now I've wrapped my left arm under my right arm for full Garudasana eagle pose. Balance your Garudasana and think about getting yourself to low lunge pose. So we're just going to let ourselves rise and unwind, and then reach the leg back. You could have your hands on the floor here as you're starting to move back, touching down for the lunge and dropping the back knee. So left leg behind of you, right leg in front. Take a big scoop and a reach up. And just like we were just trying to do in chair, trying to tuck the hips forward, we want that same action here in Anjaneyasana or low lunge pose. You don't have to look to the sky, eyes can be nice and level. One more breath in, and as you exhale, hands come down, shift back, half monkey God. Feel the hamstring stretch, take it, be patient. Allow some time in each posture. Inhale, come forward. We're gonna tuck and lift that back leg and rise back up to our crescent plank or crescent lunge. A little flow here. Inhale, we're gonna find just a soft back bend. Exhale, we're gonna Superman our way back. Inhale, rise. So if you want some challenge with this one today, see if you can sink deep into this pose. Good, and let the upper body flow. So we're working for a strong, deep, powerful lower body and a flowing, free upper body. One more time. And this time, we'll go ahead and just let the hands plant down as we step the right foot back to plank. We're gonna survive plank, okay? So just hold plank, survive. Hold plank, survive. Knees can always be down. Try to hold them up if you can, because your heart chakra pose is coming. It's gonna be easier. Go ahead, set knees down. Shift your hips back until they're over the knees. Then walk your hands out in front of you and drop your belly to your thighs. Okay, so leave the buns high up in the air. Let your forehead come to the mat. And then you make a choice. Do you want your elbows to touch the floor, or do you want your arms to push through the palms? And that's your choice. Heart sinking, dropping to the floor. This one is also called puppy dog. I always call it heart chakra. That's how I learned it, so that's what I call it. Come on up. Lift up, downward facing dog. We're gonna try a little hop. Let's see if we could just float a little bit. So look at that space in between your thumbs. Lift the heels, soften the knees. Think about picking your hips up with your arms. Really straighten your arms pressing down and hop your way to the top of your mat. How'd you do? Feet together, chair pose, rise. Good, you don't ever have to hop. If you don't wanna hop, you can go ahead and just take yourself a little walk whenever I hop. So no pressure to hop. I'm an eagle, right leg over left leg, right arm under left arm. Sit into Garudasana, challenge yourself with the bind. Challenge yourself with the tightness, with the wrap of this pose. Balance, steady your gaze, and balance. Hold that gaze as you move your way to low lunge. Maybe the arms touch the floor. Maybe you're gonna try not to touch down unless you absolutely have to. And then find your low lunge. Ha-ha, ta-da, I didn't touch it all. How'd you do? Inhale up to Anjaneyasana. Low lunge pose. It can be a back bend, so those of you who love a back bend, I mean, I hear ya. I like one too. Exhale, hands come down, half monkey God. Ardha Hanumanasana, lift the toes. Hello, where my tight hamstring people at? Yes, see that knee bend? You can bend the knee or you can straighten it. Work at your own level. Make it your own challenge. Move forward as you inhale, lunging again. Tuck, lift, back knee, rise, crescent lunge. Now can you sit? Inhale and exhale, fly. So think about granite, heavy, strong, powerful legs that are not moving, sinking deep, using that grounding power, and then your upper body is like a light little butterfly or a leaf floating through the wind. And these two energies have to come together to create this flow. So see if you can do that. Make it your best. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, this time the hands go down, and you and I, we're just gonna survive plank together. I'm doing this practice for you in the middle of the COVID pandemic. If we can survive that, we can survive plank. Come on, guys, be strong. Pull the belly in, lengthen down through your tailbone. Press the floor away. Instead of heart chakra this time, what do you say? Should we do a child's pose? I agree. Bring your hands back by the sides of your feet. And then melt your shoulder blades apart. Let your arms go like noodles. Heavy, heavy, heavy. By the sides of your legs. You guys hear singing? I hear singing. Like I said, I'm coming from the quarantine in the middle of the pandemic, so all my kids are here. I got a house full of people. Let's make our way back to downward facing dog. Tuck toes, hips go up into the air. Nicely done. Can we try that little hop again? Let's see if we can hop again. Now, if that's not for you, just take a walk, okay? So it's your choice, but make your way up to the top of your mat. Maybe you did like this super amazing hop and maybe you didn't. It doesn't matter. Rise up, mountain pose. Okay, face any direction you want, but I'm just gonna face you for a second so I can make this really clear. I'm gonna go ahead and take my hands behind my back. So I'm gonna clasp my right hand to my left wrist. So I'm wrapping my wrist and pulling it off towards the right side of my body. So I'm just gonna take a minute, twist, see if I can get that hand worked over towards the right hip as much as possible. I think it's easier actually to interlace. So maybe I'll go ahead and interlace palms together, because what I want to do is work this elbow back. See that? Rather than letting the right elbow pop out, work it back. Now I want to start to square off my shoulders as well. So once I've kind of bound that arm as tight as I can get it, I'm going to bring myself back to square, and then ever so softly just let the ear drop towards the right shoulder. Stay rooted in your left foot. And feel the stretch. Stay here for a second, working the left shoulder forward. Nicely done. If you've turned yourself to face me, let's go back to the top of our mat. Bring your head back to level, unwind the bind, take a breath in. Good. Exhale, hands through heart center and lift the left knee. We're going to find standing staff again. So pressing out through that standing staff as best we can and trying to keep that leg straight as we sweep it underneath us to warrior three pose. Yeah, chest comes parallel to the floor, leg comes parallel to the floor. Try not to roll your hips open. Be strong in your warrior three. It's okay to touch the ground or a block in this pose if you need it. In fact, you might want to grab your block if you've got it. We're headed to half moon pose. So starting to open up the body, right hand comes to the floor, left leg goes high to the sky, and we're opening ourselves up for half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Think about stacking shoulders and hips. Think about slipping your way. You might even leave your right hand on the floor as you head to warrior two. So bend your right knee a lot, and then just slip your way back to warrior two pose. Your back should be facing me, so if you looked at me, you'll be looking over your shoulder, just like I'm looking at you. Warrior two pose. Make sure your right toes are facing the top of your mat, and your back heel is down. Nice, now you're ready for side angle. Inhale, bring your right elbow to the knee and extend top arm over the top. I'm gonna try and bind this pose today. And I've got nice long limbs, so binding this pose is not that difficult for me, but you can give it a go too. So see if you can sink down in and let the body drape nice and long over the thigh. I'm actually bringing the right arm underneath now, rotating that arm so that the back of my right hand is at the outside of my right hip. And then I'm gonna drop my left hand to my right hand, looking up to the sky, pulling that top shoulder back, finding a Baddha Parshva Konasana, bound side angle pose. You do not have to bind it. You can stay right where we were, and we're on our way up. So unwinding, rising, warrior two, and straighten the right leg for triangle. Take a little celebration, body nice and long, grab the right shin, and open up to Trikonasana. Good work, everybody. Looking up or looking down. This is your choice. Let's take one more breath, and then soften into our right knee, letting our hands frame our right foot. We're gonna sweep that right leg out from underneath us, up to three-legged dog, and bend the knee, opening the hip. Hang out here. Feel that stretch, play around with toes and heel, and rolling open and turning your face, and all of that good stuff that kind of changes the stretch and opens the pose for you. And then sweep your right foot up and in between your hands to low lunge. Back knee meets the mat. Oh. Let's just take a soft low lunge here. We've already done this pose once today, so maybe just pushing, interlace your hands, push away from the knee, broaden the collarbone. Leave your feet nice and wide as you bring hands down. Pop up, press back, wide pyramid. The tendency is to shorten a little, so that's okay. If you need to shorten a little, you can let that happen. But we're gonna lunge again, so I don't want you to shorten a lot. Bending back into the right knee, left hand plants, turn and look at me, open up and revolve. Revolve side angle. Play with this just a little bit, okay? So those of you with tight IT bands, you need this good stretch down here down the side of your thigh. Just play with straightening that leg. And it might be a little and it might be a lot. And what's gonna really determine how tight this is also how close your left hand is to your right foot. That will make a big, big, big difference. So you don't have to go all the way straight. Oh, is that just me? You feeling that too? Holy moly. Bend back into it, come back to your low lunge, setting the left foot down. And let's come over here and grab that foot. Yeah, prop up. Elbow onto the knee, pull it in. Level off your gaze, put a smile on your face like you're having fun. Oh, and just enjoy that quad stretch. Where are my bikers at? Yes, get those quads. Beautiful. Whew. Let's do crane. Let's try crane one. And if you've never done crane before, you can just watch, and then when we try crane again, you can maybe try it with us the second time. Step in, pop your buns high in the air, lift your chin, look out the door, okay? Bring your knees up onto your tricep and your hands. You don't want your hands back here by your feet, because as you start to shift forward, you're just gonna nosedive. So bring your hands out in front of you, and instead, lift your knees onto your triceps. See that? Bringing the weight forward, and as the shoulders shift forward and the weight comes into the triceps, your feet will become light. And you can start to lift the heels up towards the butt. Start to dome the back a little bit more if you want to. But the butt stays nice and high in your crane pose. So that's up to you. Ha! You still flying, or are you watching me? Bring your feet back to the floor and then stand your way up to mountain pose. Big breath in. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Now, if you want to, you could stay facing this direction if that's not confusing for you. I'm gonna turn sideways just to make this clear. Interlacing my hands behind my back, bringing my hands over to the left-hand side. So I'm gonna let my body twist. Guys, as you're standing here, take away this gymnast body, okay? Take that away. Tuck, pull in, stand up tall, stack, shoulders over, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, hips over heels. Okay, and then now that I've kind of got that, pull the elbow in, and I'm just gonna keep working this right shoulder back to the front. So this should feel like a nice deep shoulder stretch. Let your ear float to the left shoulder. And we just want just a soft heaviness of the weight of your head coming down. We don't want to force the head down. Tuck your tailbone, root into your feet. That's also a nice stretch after a stressful day, yeah? All my people typing at computers all day, holy moly. Let's go back to where we were, unwind, and take a little step at the top of your mat. Hands at heart center, we're gonna stand on our left leg, lift the right knee. Find standing staff. Try not to bend your left knee as you extend the right. So keep the left leg really straight and strong. And if that means you've got to go lower with your right leg, so be it. But this is good for quads, so elevate if you can. Keep that leg straight, sweep it underneath you to warrior three. Find it. Always, and by the way, if you've got a little block at home, that block can be so helpful in poses like warrior three and half moon, which we're about to do. And so if you don't have a block, they cost about $5. Get a block. Bring your left hand, bring your block or your left hand if you don't have a block. Spider fingers to half moon pose. Open up your half moon. Now, I see this a lot, that back foot really, really low. So people will do a good job of stacking the shoulders with the back foot low. Ideally, we want to really drive that back foot high, 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 high. You're going to have open hips, open groin, and you're going to have powerful buns to really drive that foot high. Can you land this into warrior two pose? Whew. Ta-da! Yes, I can. Set yourself up, just double check. Your left toes should be pointing to the front of your mat, and if you're there, you're ready for your side angle pose. You're welcome to stay right here. If you want to try the bind, play with the bind, you could do it. If you were really close on the other side, maybe grab your jacket, grab something, a little towel, a little hand towel, and as you bring this top arm, you could hold the towel here and drop it to your bottom hand so that you're getting the bind. Clasp and bind behind your back. And the purpose of the bind is it creates this ability to roll open with some tension. So really, really asks us a lot more of everything. I'm even doing a lot more in the groin because I'm pushing that knee back with the bind. Whew. Good, good work. Go ahead and unwind. Come right back to where you were, warrior two. Whew. This leg, am I right? Reward it. Straighten it out, lean over it, catch it. Triangle pose. Trikonasana. Trikonasana. I have dreams of pronouncing this correctly in Sanskrit one day. Trikonasana. I could do better than that. I mean, I can't do better than that, but I wish I could do better than that. Soften into your left knee as you bring hands to the floor. Sweep the left leg out from underneath your three-legged dog. Bend the knee and roll the hips open. You're gonna have to push with strong arms. You can play around with lifting up to the toe, pressing the heel down, lifting up to the toe, pressing the heel down, or twisting a little more through your chest. I mean, whatever kind of speaks to you today, allow that to happen. We're bringing it under and through for our low lunge. And we're just gonna take a soft low lunge here. Yeah. Drop your shoulders. Drop your shoulder blades. Squeeze a little bit, inner thighs in towards each other. Bring hands to the floor. Tuck, lift, shift back. Don't bring the feet really close together. Just try and straighten the left leg as much as you can. Nice wide pyramid pose. Bend back into your left knee. Plant the right palm. And remember, the closer to your foot, the tighter you're going to have that outer hip stretch. So first, just twist. Find the twist. And for some of us, you're already, see, I'm already starting to feel that. So if that's tight enough, there's no need to work the legs straight, but you can play around with it. Even sometimes just tiny little inch will make a really big difference, and you just get the most glorious IT band stretch out of that. Woo! Woo! Bring it back down as you like. Knee meets the mat, and we're gonna come around here and grab the foot. Again, just a soft prop of the elbow up onto the knee, and then you pull that leg in, listening to your quads. So we're not trying to tear our quads, we're trying to give our quads a nice stretch. So be kind to your quadriceps. We did crane once, we'll do crane twice. You want to try crane? If you don't want to do crane again, you take a little child's pose, you can take a little vinyasa, you do what you want to do. I'm going to try crane one more time. Now, if you got crane and you're starting to get good at it, let's take crane to chaturanga today. And if you're not sure how to do that, you can jump it. If you've never tried jumping, I recommend you just try a little step first to your chaturanga, and then work your way through your up dog and your down dog. If I just lost you there, how about just come to downward facing dog? Yeah? Inhale, move forward. Side plank. So right arm coming under the body, turn your back to me and open up to side plank pose. We're gonna stay on the feet. We're headed to Wild Thing. If you have shoulder issues, you do not want to do Wild Thing if your right shoulder happens to be your problem shoulder. Lift your left leg, bend the left knee, and let the left tippy toes or ball of the foot come to the floor. Keep your right leg straight. Roll to the sole of your right foot, and then just push your hips through a nice soft back bend here. Don't force this to go too far. Can we roll it back over? Look with your eyes, roll your body over. Downward facing dog. Whoa. Right leg up, right leg through, pigeon pose. Sit, split, and rest. Few breaths. Clear your mind. And just inhale and exhale. Let's try that Wild Thing again on the other side. Now, you can just go straight to your downward dog. I'm going to take a little push-up. Sneak that in. We haven't done very many of those today anyway. So, now, if you're in your downward dog, I'll pick you up. Come with me, forward to plank. Left arm comes under the center of your chest. Swivel open to side plank. Try and stay on your feet here, please. We're going to move to Wild Thing, lifting the right leg, bending the knee and letting the toes find the floor. Open up. So if this top arm feels like it's holding you back, like your shoulders are holding you back, I just want you to bring your hand to the back of your head and then let your head fall into your palm. And that'll help you find the softness through the upper body. Turn your head, look at the floor, find downward facing dog, and reward yourself. Left leg up, left leg through, pigeon pose, ha ha. Kapotasana. Okay, so if you don't have a block, I mean, obviously you don't have to lay your head on a block, but you can make two fists and stack them. And then just let your head rest there. So you don't have to go quite so deep, but it's a nice way to just kind of find some softness. I always try and remind everyone when we're in these moments of quiet, these poses that are a little more calm, especially if they've followed a really challenging pose or a really challenging series before that. This is the time when we usually tend to say really mean, awful things to ourselves because it's quiet. Maybe we weren't very successful on the series right before, so we'll tell ourselves, you know, how bad we are at yoga or how overweight we are, or how we just never get it right. We're never going to be able to be flexible enough or strong enough or any of those things. So really, really over the years while I practiced yoga, I've tried to stop myself. So when I'm in the quiet moments of my practice, I just Don't let that ego brain turn on that tries to beat me up. Just refuse to listen to it. Yeah. Bring yourself up. Take a nice little chaturanga flow and downward facing dog. Can we bring knees to the mat for camel? Ustrasana, tuck toes, take a breath in. And then just bring hands to the back of the pelvis, puff the heart forward. Open the throat. And inhale, bring yourself back up and over. Hands to the floor. Tabletop becomes cat as we exhale and round the back up. Let's go ahead and have a seat. I'll face you. You can face me, or you can face any way you want. Easy cross-legged pose, Sukhasana, and maybe just pick up your left leg. See if you can put it on top. Big breath in. And exhale, twist. Good work. Come back to center. And you walk forward just a little bit. I know. Feel that in the hips as well. If it's too much, you shouldn't have any chatter or pain in this left knee. So if it's too much there or in the ankle, you need to get the leg off the top and just be cross-legged. Breath in, sit up. Let's switch legs. So left leg on bottom and right leg on top. Little half lotus. You know, it doesn't have to perfectly be up in the crease of your hip. That's fine. Just root through your sit bones. Big breath in, reach up, left arm. Exhale, take the twist. Thank you for practicing with me today. I really appreciate it. As we enter the final phases here of the practice, I'm going to just encourage you to take Shavasana as long as you want. So I'll try to go a little bit quiet for you during that time of the class, and then you just choose to lay there for as long as you want. Maybe today you've only got 5 minutes. Come back to the center. Maybe you've got 20 minutes to dedicate to your rest at the end of the practice. So I'll leave that up to you. But you know, if you just need a little bit of time and you've got it and you can take it, why not? Breath in, sit up. Let's take the legs straight out. Staff pose. Make sure and get all your business out of the way. Find your sit bones. Big breath in. Straight back and exhale, fold. And as you rise up, scoop your heart forward, take yourself back. Just slowly melting all the way down. Square yourself up on your mat and prepare for Shavasana. Legs straight, arms straight, be heavy. Melt your body down into the floor. Inhale. And exhale. As you lie here on the floor, just make sure that you're comfortable. So that's our goal. We want to be comfortable, we want to be still, and we want to be quiet. Try not to move your body as much as possible. Try not to think anything as much as possible. So just a clear, open, quiet mind and a heavy, quiet body. Rest into the earth and stay as long as you like.